This video will introduce you to how easy it is for you to come in and participate in virtual live training via a WIMBA conference room. Now the first thing you need to go to is brandmanlive.wimba.com. Brandman Live, one word please. brandmanlive.wimba.com. You'll land on this page. Very important thing to note, right here, the setup wizard. If this is your first time coming into a WIMBA conference room, you have to run the setup. Now, if you've run it before and you haven't done any major updates or upgrades to your computer since then, no problem. You can go right to participant login. However, let's say you've worked on this in one computer but you're on a different one. Please go ahead and run it again. Always set yourself up for success. So if we need to run the setup wizard, it's a simple click, and it will walk you through these steps. The irony is that the easiest one to deal with is usually the one that trips people up, the pop-up windows, and we'll get there in a second. So you click Start, and it tests to see if it can indeed pop up windows, because that will be an issue as you go through WIMBA. If it says no, if it cannot pop up windows, you will have to fix that on your own browser. Now it depends what you're using. Firefox, there's usually a little click in the corner. Sometimes with Internet Explorer you have to go into preferences. So check it out. It's a security issue. It's one of those things that's easy enough to Google. If you're having a problem, Google pop-up blocker, Internet Explorer, you'll find an easy answer. So after pop-up windows, it checks for Java. And if you're running on an older browser, again, an older version of Internet Explorer or Firefox, you may have to download the newer version to get Java. Either way, it's not something you yourself need to worry about what Java actually is. Just make sure that it's embedded in your browser. So next, it's going to test the ability to use the audio playback.
Congratulations. If you can hear this message, audio playback is working properly on your computer. Please click Next to continue.
Okay, that said about the text before, if you're using a telephone connection, those three little dings are actually very good. I'll get back to those in a second. If you are using the telephone to log in, you don't need to worry. Truth be told, you will probably get a better connection if you can use a headset with a microphone to log in and communicate, but you don't have to. There is a telephone option, and we will get to that throughout the rest of this tutorial. Now, on this page, you heard those three magic dings. The magic dings mean audio and all the related components have loaded properly. Once you're actually inside the classroom, you will see this gray action bar in the middle of the screen. If you're using a headset and mic, to be heard, you have to click the talk button. Hear that echo? That means that my voice, as painful as it is coming through into the audio. Okay, enough of that. But you get my point. When you hear those three little dings, once you've logged in, it means that everything is properly loaded for you to use WIMBA. Notice these little bars here turned green. They were yellow at first. You'll see this when we log into the classroom again. But basically, I'm sorry, I use the terms classroom and conference room interchangeably because in WIMBA, they really are the same thing. It's the same space. It's just how you're using it. These bars were initially yellow. When I first logged in, my connection wasn't that strong. Now I'm in, my connection's stronger, I've gone to green. If it's red, it means my internet connection is weak. So that's something else to be aware of. Now let's finish this off. Fabulous. So now I can click Finished. And you, as an individual, you will be logging in as a participant. As a participant, you do not need to worry about any specific username or password. Please just put in your own name and click Enter. Now here's where you're going to have to give it a second. It's loading all of the individual conference rooms. Once the list of names loads, go to the specific person you're meeting with. For many people, you'll be meeting in Kimberly Green's conference room, and you'll notice that they are arranged alphabetically by first name. Kimberly Green. So scroll to the middle of the page for the K's. Boom. Conference room, Kimberly Green. Click enter. Now, it will take a moment to log in, and that's okay. You can see in the corner where the text bar is that it's loading you into that room. So give it a second. All right, so we're not loaded yet. We haven't heard the 3 magic dings. It's a bit of a slow load in the first couple of times, but you see you're coming into the room. You'll notice the Brahmin logo in the corner, so you are in the right place. You'll see who else is already in there, and as people come in, more names will show up here. And again, this is your text bar where you will be able to communicate in text simply by clicking and hitting the return button. If there were more people in this room, you could send private messages. The list of names will show up here. But in general, main room, everyone can see what you type and then hit enter or return. If you want to use the telephone, yes, there are static numbers you can call on the outside, but I actually, for a very specific reason, would strongly recommend you first get logged in, then when you're here, you click on the little blue telephone. This will give you the simulcast numbers. The 201 is a toll number, but if you have free long distance, it's a stronger line. 877 is the toll-free number, and there is the PIN. Please don't write down the number you just saw. On the blue telephone, it changes depending on how many other numbers are being used. There is a back-end static number I don't usually give out because, again, this is what takes the longest for the audio to load, depending on your internet speed. So I recommend please get logged into the room, and then if you're going to call, you can click on the blue telephone to get all the information. There are a few little things over here. We've got icons for clicking. If someone asks a question and wants to answer yes, you can click the little green check mark. Click it again, it goes away. The little red X for no. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. We do have a small number of emoticons, and you'll notice that they show up over here in text as well as visually for everyone to notice. So those are the basics of logging into WIMBA. The number one thing for you to remember is please run the wizard before you log in, and then give yourself time for everything to load. Sometimes it can take a couple of minutes. Sometimes it's with the snap of a finger. Don't get frustrated. It's just a tool. It is what it is. Again, the base URL to log in is brahminlive.wimba.com. Click participant, and then you'll be able to come in. You don't need a password, and the phone number will be in the room once you get into your conference room. For many of us, you'll be meeting in my room, conference room, Kimberly Green. I look forward to seeing you there.